Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week with the edit. I hope you're well and having a nice weekend. Before we get into all the patterns, and there's some great ones, and I know I say that every week, just to remind you, Sewing Weekender tickets are still on sale if you would like them. We've only got a few more weeks to go until it's actually on. So yeah, if you are around and you fancy joining, we'd love to have you. Also, crucially, if you're not here that weekend, the videos and the content stay up forever, so you can still get a ticket and watch it at your leisure. But I will probably mention this a couple more times before it starts. Right, let's get going with the pattern. So I'm going to start with the latest magazine of Quilt Folk, which I've actually got a copy of because I love it so much. So it is, I can't remember what issue this one is, I should know that. Let me have a look. Issue 34, Arkansas, a state that I actually don't know very much about. So for anyone who hasn't seen these before, these are probably one of my favourite things that I get and read. They go to a different state in the US and they interview quilt makers there, and they're more, I know they're called magazines, but they're more like books. They're beautifully shot, filled with really, I think the thing that I love about the Quilt Folk magazine is, you know, when you make a quilt, it feels like you're there's like some story behind it. And this magazine is all the stories about people who make quilts. So if you like that sort of thing where I love like hearing about people's lives, then this is definitely for you. So you get kind of loads of like pictures of where people work, the stuff they've made. And I will say, like, I'm not like a huge quilter, but I absolutely just love reading and seeing what other people are up to. If you're interested in like other people's creative pursuits, and this magazine is perfect. So that one is there, and it did get a little bit delayed, but it is now here and it's beautiful as always. So I have been reading an article every night before bed. It's so nice. And then sometimes I like go back to them, and yeah, I just love them. So that is there. Then we've got it's quite heavy on the trouser this week. So Matchy Matchy have released the Apron pocket pants, which are super cute as always with Matchy Matchy. So they're a kind of wide-legged pair of trousers. They've got an elasticated waist. The main detail on them are these amazing, enormous, ruffle-edged pockets. So let me show you the line drawing so we can have a look. The thing that is great about Matchy Matchy patterns is they're actually quite simple construction, most of them. So they're like kind of an easy, chilled out sew. So the trousers come in two different leg options. You can either go for kind of a super wide leg, or you can go for something a little bit more tapered. I'll show you pictures of the difference so you can see which you prefer. And then also there is a pair of shorts. But yeah, they've got this super cute little ruffle, and obviously Matchy Matchy have such great, they always do amazing fabric combinations, which I find like super inspiring, things I would never think to put together. Like this one I'm going to show you. I would never think to put those fabrics together, but they look amazing. So yes, if you're looking for a kind of, I was thinking this would be a really nice project if anyone, I know we're not there yet, but I feel like people are thinking ahead, like summer holidays. I feel like this would be a really nice, fun project to do with like a teenager, or maybe someone a little bit younger, but I think it would be like simple enough if you help them with the ruffly bit on the pocket. It would be a really nice project to do. Next up, great pair of trousers from Friday Pattern Company. They're called the Flanner Pants, and I hope that sounds like Flanner Pants. They're PDF only at the moment. Paper will be coming. Obviously we can print them off you if you cannot be asked to stick all the pieces together because life is too short. These are amazing. So I think I've mentioned this in the past, my favourite type of trouser, flat fronted, elasticated back. Yes, please. Thank you very much. We all love it. The thing that is interesting about these trousers is that there is no side seam in them. So the leg piece has one panel, which is great if you like to sew pattern trousers, because you're not going to have like the kind of side seam, which always can be a bit tricky. You can't match them, but This means you've got like a straight cut. So if you like sewing pattern trousers, these are definitely worth having a look at. Then they've got patch pockets on the bottom, both on, you know, each butt cheek. And then there are these quite nice like pockets on the side. Obviously these can be left off or do whatever you want with them. But I love this. I think the proportion of them are great. I love that they're high-waisted. They just feel like a really good staple in your wardrobe. And I think the not having the side seam makes them like quite fun to sew as well, because you don't get many trousers that don't have the side seam. Then we've got two quite interesting patterns from the assembly line. These are paper only, and sizing on this one is a UK 10 to 30. This is called the Drawstring Vest, and the reason that I like it is I think it's a really great spring jacket. So let me show you the line drawing so you can see what's going on. Really simple construction. So when you see this pattern and the next pattern they've released, they've obviously been quite inspired by the sort of poncho sort of shape. So you can see that the cut of it, it doesn't have proper sleeves. It's just like a kind of, almost like it'll be like a panel that kind of goes in that sort of shape, the pattern piece. Then it has got a kind of a hidden placket at the front. It's got a channel sewn through the back that you can add elastic to. You can add a hood if you would like to as well. But I really like that they've made it in quite a structured quilted fabric, and I think it is really lovely. I think it adds kind of really interesting kind of silhouette. But yeah, I think if I was making this, I would potentially make this in something quite structured, and I think it's, yeah, I just absolutely love this. So that is available if you would like it. And then thinking on poncho and their next pattern, they've got the assembly line poncho shirt, which I think is really interesting. I haven't ever seen a pattern, kind of shirt pattern like this before. So again, let's start with the line drawing so we can see what is going on. So it's your classic poncho shape, but then it has your shirt feature. So you've got a little collar, you've got buttons down the front, there are no sleeves, obviously. There's a little stitch at the side to stop it kind of completely flapping open, because nobody needs that. And then it's got these really lovely seams running kind of across the chest line all the way up, this kind of lovely curve. I love that there's two of them. It means, and I can show you some pictures, you can have a play with different types of fabric. There's also an example where they've sewn a ruffle into it, so you can get quite creative if you want to. This size, I didn't say, oh God, sorry, I've gone straight in and not told you the important stuff. Paper only, sizing on it is a UK 8 to 30. So yes, that one is there. Next up, we have got a really beautiful pattern from Named Clothing. It's called the Sous Vide Caftan Mini and Maxi Dress. It's PZF only for this one. Paper will be coming at some point, but again, we can print it for you. Let's have a look at the line drawing. So there are two different variations for this dress. This is such a great dress if you're a beginner maker. It's really nice and simple. So I'll show you the kind of simple variation first. Lovely V-neck. It's got these little kind of grown on sleeves, and the way that it's kind of simple cut, but it adds shaping with this gathered panel that runs across the front and across the back. Really quite nice, speedy make. The less simple version I absolutely adore. So it has got that channels kind of sewn below the bust, around the waist, and then across the top of the shoulder. This means you can gather this in lots of different ways, and you can make it look actually completely different depending on how much kind of gathering you want. But I thought it was really interesting because those little tweaks, there isn't a huge amount of difference, completely make the dress look totally different. Don't you agree? The yellow one feels so kind of full on. There's loads of detail. It feels like you could wear this to a wedding. And then the other one feels like something that you throw on to go to the beach. And I love the kind of mix of the two for these. I thought it would be perfect if you've got like a summer event. Well, basically, if you're going to the beach and you have a summer event, this pattern like ticks both of your boxes. And yeah, it just seems like a really great option. So if you are looking for some kind of summery dress, that's worth checking out. Then we've got a lovely little pattern from Sew Over It. It's called the Bucket Bag. So this pattern is one size. It's super cute, a nice speedy make as well. So the only thing you will need is a slider and 2 D-rings, but apart from that, that isn't very much hardware. So you can see from the shape of it, it's kind of bucket shaped, and then it's got this nice detail where the channel that is kind of ruches it in and pulls it is sewn around the outside of the bag, which I really like. It then creates a kind of ruffle top, which is super cute. Again, I was thinking this, going back to like summer holidays, I thought this would also be a really nice like beginner project if you wanted to make something with someone. But yeah, I was thinking these also would be really nice presents to give to people. So yeah, if you have got the kind of the bag making bug, this one is definitely worth having a bit of a look at. Now we've got two amazing new labels from Little Rosy Cheeks. If you haven't seen her before, she does really great labels. So we've got a handmade one and me made, and they come in different colours which look really sweet. So those are kind of little, so as you can see, these are quite like dinky ones, which some people don't like the big ones, but I think they're very, very sweet. And I love that they're on that little kind of grosgrain stripe. I think it makes it feel like really expensive. And then the second one from them is, I love this, it's a kind of bigger patch. So it's 4 centimetres by 4 centimetres, and it's cool, and it says sew your own sunshine on it, which I think is super cute. This would look amazing on the outside of a denim jacket or like a jacket. I think it feels really, or in, I mean, you can put it anywhere, but I like the idea of it kind of showing on the outside of your garment, or if you make a bag, it would look really cute on it. So those are the kind of core things. Then we've got two little, which I feel like are worth a mention. Brigitte Hemmelson, who, if you haven't come across, is a zero waste designer. So when you buy her patterns, you get the instructions to draw, you draw straight onto the fabric. So you're basically cutting squares and rectangles, which means you waste less fabric. She has brought out two new hack options. So these are hacks of her patterns that she already has out there. So there is this really sweet bow top hack, and this is linked to the cropped shirt pattern. So you need to have that one to make this, but really sweet little tie fronted blouse. I love the little sleeves as well. It feels like a really fun way to kind of update of something that you already own. And that kind of bow front tie fronted blouse is very, very popular this summer. And then the second one is the bow dress hack. And this is for the gather dress pattern, which is one of her most popular ones. And again, it's adding that little bow detail at the front. I think it's super cute, and I feel like it would really kind of change the feel of the pattern that you already have. So yeah, you do need the original pattern. I don't want anyone to get confused. And anyway, that is it from me. I hope that was useful and you found something you like. I'll be back soon with another video. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. Bye.